Hi, this is John, and in this video we're going to go to Prezi.com and sign up for our free account. So start by typing in the address, Prezi.com. That'll take you to their home page. Because this is our first time here, we're going to click on the Get Started link that you see in the blue button there. Now, on the surface it looks like Prezi is something you have to pay for. They do have 3 paid levels, Enjoy, Pro, and Team, with different features and different pricing plans. However, because this is our first time here, I'd recommend not signing up right away. We're going to continue with the public presentations. So the only price that we have to pay is the fact that our presentations for the time being will be public for everybody to see. If you wanted extra features and privacy, you'd sign up for the other paid options later. But for now, we'll just continue with public presentations. That will take us to our free public account sign-in page. And it's pretty straightforward. You just supply your first name and your last name, a valid email address, and just some password that you would normally use that would be easy for you to remember in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this information out here, and then when you're done, you're going to click on the Create Your Free Public Account button, and that takes you right away to the home page of Prezi, where you're ready to start making your first Prezi.
Here's a quick preview of the first Prezi you're going to make. It's a Prezi of the Beatles. I'm going to supply all the pictures and the text for this. So it just runs through the 4 Beatles, John and George and Paul and Ringo. I've also embedded a YouTube video after Ringo, which I'll show you the first 10 seconds of. It just shows the Beatles back in 1963. You don't hear sound on this clip, but on the playback live you'll hear the sound. And then after the video, it pans back out to the entire presentation again. So this is what we're going to start with.
So here we are at a new Prezi screen. You can see I've got the Meet the Beatles Prezi over here that I've prepared ahead of time to show you. Your screen will have no Prezis on it right now to begin with, but you should see this new Prezi button right here. So go ahead and click this to get started. It takes a few minutes for Prezi to actually load into your browser, but when you see the finished loading screen, you're going to notice a lot of templates to choose from, and this is the part that makes Prezi so easy to get started. So here's the latest templates that they have available. You can scroll down with this little scroll bar here and you can see all of those. I'm going to go to the More section, and this is where I found the perfect Prezi for my Beatles presentation. As I went down, I noticed there was one called Paper. Just find it again. There it is here. So the fact that it's got this 1, 2, 3, 4 and it shows the 4 steps, I thought that would be perfect for the 4 members of the Beatles. So go ahead and click this one and click on Use Template, and that will take us right in. And believe it or not, that's almost all the work done for us already, because when it's finished its magic, this is what you get. And over here on the left you've got what's called the Path Editor. And what it does is it shows you each scene along the way. So I can also use this to move from one object to the next for editing purposes. So this will be my area for John Lennon. Now the template comes with some other scenes within scenes. So scene number 3 is a circle that's within number 2. I'm not going to use this, so I'm going to get rid of it. So you are free to modify your template once it gives it to you. This will be the next major musician in the Beatles. And then scene 5 also gives me 2 other sub-scenes right now that I can add content to if I want to. But again, I'll get rid of those as I go through. And then it goes to scene 8, which will be for my last musician. And then it has scene 9, which just zooms back out to the beginning again. And again, you can leave that in later or you can take it out. So let's go back to scene 1, and well, that would be frame number 2, which would be the first Beatle. So just to clarify, scene 1 is the entire Prezi, and then scene 2 zooms into John Lennon. Now I don't need this other scene within scene 2, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it just like that. And you can see when you mouse over the object, it turns blue, and from there you can select it, and then these options come up. So I'm going to hit the delete option here to get rid of it altogether. Okay. Similarly, in scene 4, there's a couple of other sub-scenes which I don't need. So I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to hit delete. And I'll click on this one here, and I'll hit delete. And that pretty much gives me the 4 Beatles that I need, and the 4 areas for the 4 Beatles. So I'm going to go back to the second scene, which will be my first Beatle. And I'm going to just go to each one of these now, and I'm just going to put in the names of each musician, just the titles. And you can see here, pretty straightforward, I click to add text, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace each one of those with the actual person that I am talking about. So there's John Lennon in the first scene. Over to the next scene we go, and this will be for George Harrison. Just type that in there. Over to the next scene, and that's going to be Paul McCartney, my favorite Beatle, and we can't forget Ringo Starr. Okay, and I'll zoom back out to the full screen, and that's a good start. We've got each of our 4 areas defined, and I've put the titles in. I've got rid of the extra things I didn't need. I'm going to show you one more thing before we close off this video. Even though the template provides us with basic colors and shapes, we have a little bit more flexibility still with the overall color of the presentation by going up here to the themes option. So if you download this or click this down, you can see there's these different options we can choose. Now, with the paper template that we chose, only certain things get affected. So, for example, you didn't see how the background got changed there. Basically, what these options do with this template is they just change the colors of the shapes as well as the colors of the text options. So feel free to use any of these ones that you want to. The one I chose for my presentation the first time through was Tara, so I'm going to go with that one again. Okay, and then later on, as we add text boxes for each musician, you'll see how that Tara theme comes into play for additional coloring. Okay, but this is another thing that you can do once you've chosen your theme to go ahead and modify not just the colors, but also the fonts that are going to get used for the text along the way. All right, so that should do it for this round. Coming up next, we're going to look at adding additional text for each musician, as well as the pictures for each musician.